Hey everybody, welcome to Old Roommates. Today on the show, we revisit the music videos of the Backstreet Boys. So throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Because we're about to begin.
Welcome everyone to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
And we are revisiting the Backstreet Boys. So we are going to be comparing and contrasting two of their most popular music videos. Everybody, also known as Backstreet's Back, right? Mm-hmm. And As Long As You Love Me. And we will be featuring a third video for patrons only. So on our Patreon site, we will be talking about I Want It That Way.
Right.
So, Brian, we begin our show like as we always do. What are your thoughts about the then of the Backstreet Boys?
So I was a fan.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I had the Millennium CD.
Okay.
I don't know if I had Black and Blue. That was their follow-up to Millennial. But then after Millennium, is it Millennial? Oh my God.
So Millennium is 1999.
Yeah. And what was before that? Just Backstreet Boys?
Backstreet's Back was 1997.
So I think I went.
So there must have been something before Backstreet's Back, because why would they be back?
So here's what's going on. So Backstreet Boys started in Europe, even though they're American. Like they started in Europe, and they became super successful, mm-hmm. and then they came over, which I think others bands have done, other boy bands. I think New Kids on the Block had a similar trajectory. Backstreet Boys, so they came over and
David Hasselhoff.
And Backstreet's Back, or Everybody, parentheses, Backstreet's Back. So that was their first big hit. But I remember really liking that song. But then I remember loving I Want It That Way. And buying the Millennium CD. It may have been like a... wait, let me think about that. I think I did Columbia Records and tapes for a while.
Isn't that funny?
I think I did. Because I think what happened was I was very late to the CD game because I wasn't not much of a music person, and so I think I just kept going because I was getting 99-cent CDs and all this kind of stuff. And it was worth it for me because I was late. Meaning,
you only had to buy 3 at full price, right?
Because to me, I actually had the money. So meaning, when I was a teenager, I did it for cassettes and then I just stopped it. And then when I was a grown-up, I'm like, well, I'm getting more into music and I have a better sound system. I need to ramp up my CD collection. And so I think what I probably did is bought that, and then for my little cheapo ones, I probably went back and got the first Backstreet Boys CD.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, but I really love that album, Millennium, and I love that I Want It That Way. I'm going to be honest, I'm dead honest, at no point in my life excuse me, could I have ever named any of them? I remember Brian Luttrell, only because my name is Brian. And Nick Carter, because he was the blonde one.
Right.
And the young one. But he was I feel like he was the one that was most in your face. But I couldn't name the other 3 to save my life.
Well, I don't want to interrupt you, but Kevin Richardson was always the one that I liked the best.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
And so, what can I say? I was a fan. And for these songs, Everybody, Backstreet's Back, and As Long As You Love Me, I mean, they weren't, my favorites. I think I much more preferred songs than the Millennium album. But that was just me. But I liked them. Mm-hmm. How about you?
So, I was a bit old for them.
Okay.
I was, 30 years old. So, I was, a grown-up. And
Christina,
what?
You know I'm only 3 years younger than you. I'm sorry, but I love pop music.
Well, I guess mentally I was a grown up. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. I
have Backstreet Boys posters on my wall. I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, I was a fan. Like, you either like something or you don't. I liked it.
Okay,
liked them.
Okay, calm down. I didn't mean to strike a nerve with you, Brian.
Continue.
Yeah. I liked the Backstreet Boys too, but I did feel like I was a little bit too old for all the hype that it was.
Oh God, yes.
So, it wasn't. I wasn't really at a point in my life where I like sat and watched music videos. So
same.
I was at a. Are you sure about that? So I just had. It was just a different point in my life. I did like their songs, but I never bought any of their CDs or anything. I wasn't I would never have bought concert tickets to them. To me, honestly, I think even at that point, I probably got a lot of the members of like NSYNC mixed up with Backstreet Boys, mixed up with 98 Degrees, and like because it was like the whole area of boy bands. But I mean, I liked them. I thought they were pleasant. They were absolutely catchy songs, and I don't know if I ever changed the station.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It was like they were cute, pleasant. And I don't feel like I was that attracted to any of them. But if there was one, I think it was Kevin that I liked. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if I had to pick one, it would be Kevin. I just felt like maybe he was older. Was he older than everybody else?
He seems it, right?
He seemed maybe more mature. Like I was going for the mature one, I guess.
Yeah. It's funny because I think to that point about being older, like you're saying, and like I didn't find any of them cute. And I'll extend that to NSYNC. 98 Degrees is a little different. But I think NSYNC and Backstreet Boys just seemed very young.
Well, very like bubblegummy.
Yeah. Like I didn't find them cute.
Right. It was almost like you probably would have felt a little icky if you felt like you were attracted to them. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Yeah. Just sort of, it's one of those things. Because they were pretty young when they started out, right? I didn't look up their ages or anything.
I didn't either, but I mean, some of a few of them have facial hair. I mean, a couple of them look older. I don't know, and I mean, if there's any fan listening to this right now, they'd be like, you don't know their names.
Oh, and then there was like New Kids on the Block, too.
Well, that was and that was like 10 years prior.
So they were the originals.
I mean, you could argue the Beatles were the originals.
Because I do remember, the one thing I remember about New Kids on the Block is obviously they were Boston-based.
Yeah, right.
And I remember literally, like, must have been in my 20s. I don't know what it was, but we were out in Boston. Mm-hmm. We were going out. It was like a Saturday night, ready to go party, blah, 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 blah. And we looked out the window and we saw a few of them like walking down the street.
Oh, wow.
And it must have been after
You're talking about New Kids.
New Kids on the Block. Okay, not Backstreet Boys, but New Kids on the Block. Yeah. And I remember being like, how the mighty has fallen or something like that. I remember doing some sort of like snide comment about them just like walking down the street, like not even realizing how big they really were because it wasn't my scene.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's...
No, I think anytime you can share a really negative side of yourself, Christina, I'm all for it.
I was in a different headspace.
Well, there will be a point where we review New Kids on the Block videos. We have to, because I have a really good New Kids on the Block story, but I'll save it for another time.
All right. So anyway, let's start.
But we picked these two videos because everybody Backstreet's Back has 350 million views. As Long As You Love Me has 357 million views. These are neck and neck, and we really have to do our job here and decide ultimately which one makes our pop culture vault of music videos. So let's start with, if you're okay with this, everybody Backstreet's Back.
Yes, that's how
That's the same with me.
Oh, good. So we know, and we've talked about this before. Like we should probably talk about which ones we're going to do first. Because I do think it alters the interpretation of them
completely,
right? Well, like if you really love something and then you see something that's not that great or whatever.
Well, also it's also how they were released as well.
Yeah.
So I think this is.
So let's start with Everybody. Like such a catchy song.
Love this song.
Everybody.
And they do say, throw your hands in the air, wave them around like you just don't care.
Yes.
Yeah. But so I'm assuming you watched the full 6.5 minute.
Yes.
Epic haunted house story.
Yes, that's the one I watched.
It begins with an intro where they act.
ish.
Which they probably
They attempted
should not have.
to act.
My concern with this is like, and so back then with this video, I actually I liked it. But it's your point. I didn't sit around watching music videos,
right?
But I vividly remember that one because it actually was something we talk about a lot on this podcast. Is it had a story?
Yes.
The story is their bus breaks down and they have to stay in this haunted house.
Yes, and it's funny when you're saying like they acted. When I was watching this, I'm thinking to myself, are they trying to be bad at acting? Like, I was trying to figure out, like, maybe they're trying to be, like, campy, like, silly, but I have no idea if they were trying to be serious or not. I don't remember watching it, you know, in my 30s thinking they were bad acting. Like, I don't remember that part of it. So, I don't know. It was kind of a funny thing. I don't really much...
Well, wait a second, though. So this was released in June of 97.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't in your 30s in 97, were you? No.
I was born in 67.
So, 72, I was 25? Are we 5 years? I didn't think we were 5 years apart. But I guess we are.
Well, it's probably like four and a half.
And something, yeah.
Because you're February and I'm October, so.
Oh, right, okay. So, well, here's the thing. So, this one... It was the first single off their first U.S. album. Mm-hmm. So they had an album before this that was only released really in Europe. The single sold 2.1 million copies. It was on the charts for 22 weeks. Not in the number one spot, but it was on the top 100 for 22 weeks. And this concept of them being monsters, they had to fight for this idea because Jive Records, who was the record company, said... People in America don't know you at this point. They don't know you well. And we don't want you in costumes because they're not going to know what you look like.
Right.
And to the point, but they love the concept so much that the Backstreet Boys put up their own money to get this video made.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it ended up winning Best Group Video at the MTV Video Music Awards in 98. So having known that now, which I certainly didn't know that then, I do think, like, I thought this was a pretty well-made video. I think some of the worst parts were just, like, the acting.
Yes.
Like, that beginning, because also, even if they got it right, like, say, either or, it's camp, right? Or they're really trying. I think what bothered me most was that they're jerks. Mm-hmm. Like, they're really rude to the bus driver. Like, they're like, no, man, we ain't staying here. Blah, blah. It's like
they're trying to sound tough or something.
Right. They're all yelling at him. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so even if this is just to be funny or just whatever, it's like, it puts them in a really bad light for their first, say, American music video.
Yes. Agreed.
That was my immediate reaction to that beginning.
So, and my immediate reaction was what I was saying before, like, are they trying to be funny or are they trying to be serious? Like, I just couldn't figure out what they were trying to do. So I was like, all right, whatever. But I will say, like, when I started to watch these videos, I'm like, oh, geez, like I said, I didn't really watch the videos at that point in time in my life. I'm like, oh, I hope I've seen these videos. Okay. And I was a little bit nervous. I'm like, oh, I hope I have actually seen them. I was trying to picture them and I couldn't. And then when it started, I was like, oh, okay, good. I did see this.
Because they didn't always show the intro.
No. But it was like a relief for me. I'm like, okay, I remember this video now. Okay, good. And I got like a good warm fuzzy feeling from it and all that. So that was my original thought, was like, oh, good, I did see this. And I was really, really impressed with the production of it. Like, a lot of these videos that we revisit, they just look like someone, just started making it in the basement of their house.
1,000%.
Right? This one looks like they have been making videos for years and years and years and years. Like,
production values seem high in this, and I agree. It's like this seemed like, I mean, I don't know how long it took them to film, but like, it doesn't seem like it was made in an afternoon.
Right.
When we revisit a lot of, particularly 90s videos, when we revisit them here, like, I'm talking even Alanis Morissette for that matter, it's like, that probably took them 2 hours to film.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think this one, there's a little more thought
the Go-Go's
into it.
in the airport, which is supposed to be an airport, which is actually just like a warehouse.
Is it even an airport or a bus station?
I don't even know we don't know. Nobody knows.
But but I will say this: I would have appreciated a few more dance moves. I think when I like when they're doing the choreographed stuff.
That was my favorite part of this whole video.
And
I said that they looked really, really sexy dancing.
And here's what's funny, because both of us earlier, seconds ago, said that we didn't find them attractive. This time around, through my middle-aged lens, Kevin Richardson, your guy, I was like, oh.
It's like, wow.
I missed this.
Look at him.
This first time around. And I don't know why I didn't find him attractive then, but I was like, oh, he actually has a really good body, really good dancer. Like, he's a really attractive guy. I didn't connect that at all back in 1997.
Right, and neither did I.
Yeah.
And, as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh my God. And I never ever thought this, and maybe you never did either. Like, he looks so much like John Stamos. And if you look at this video again, I think you'll see it. It's something like he has the same shaped nose.
Okay.
He has similar eyes, similar eyebrows, but I had never, ever, ever seen it before. And I was a fan of John Stamos back then, but I'm like, oh my God. Like, he looks just... But, it gave me some warm fuzzies watching them.
Yeah, I didn't get that, but I was shocked that, like, there was an open shirt. Because it is, to your words, a boy band.
Yes.
And I was like, that's not usually a boy band thing. Like, I don't ever recall seeing, like, New Kids on the Block with an open shirt.
Right, no.
I don't. At least I don't recall that.
But, and when they were dancing with people, I found that very sexy. I really liked it. The one thing that I thought was a little bit interesting about that, and I really, really loved it, don't get me wrong, but it was really interesting that they were kind of blended in with everybody dancing. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Usually in something like a boy band, they're in front. They have slightly different moves. The background dancers are in the background. But they were all meshed together. They were all doing the same exact moves at the same time, same amount of energy. And I thought that was really an interesting choice. I'm like, wow, whose thought was this?
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense now. If they put this money behind to say, this is what I want for this video to be, maybe they weren't thinking ahead, thinking, oh, wait, maybe we should stand out a little bit more. But it was kind of glaring to me when I saw that.
1,000%. I have that same note. It's like they're all mixed in with a bunch of other dancers, but I think it's effective. And maybe there's a safety there, because if there's so much going on, you can't really notice, unless they're really bad.
And I did like it.
Yeah.
It was just surprising.
Yeah.
From like a marketing end of it.
I will say I did catch Brian Luttrell looking at the other. I think he was trying to like get his steps right. I think he was making sure he was getting it right. Yeah, just a couple. Only because there's so much going on, and I watched it like 4 times because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. But I remember thinking like, I watched this one this morning actually, and it was like, oh, he's totally looking at, like, you can almost see some of them counting in their head, like the steps.
Right.
But I really did enjoy it, and then it ends though with more acting. And it's a little loud and grating, and it's just strange.
It's like that fisheye lens.
Right. Yeah, because the bus driver comes back and he has become like a Frankenstein monster. That actor is from Starsky and Hutch.
Yes, it was,
Yeah, I didn't write his name down.
What was his name? I don't remember. It was, he was Huggy Bear.
Okay.
On the show, his name was Huggy Bear. I forget his name in real life, though. Yeah, I liked seeing him. My
only other note here is the person doing all the backflips. Was that a stunt double?
It had to
because they didn't show his face. Like, I was like, that's really one of them. They should at least show his face.
Yeah.
Something that was a stunt double.
I will say I was a little bit disappointed in that I was hoping for a little more of a storyline.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it has a story in the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really have much. Like, I was waiting for something else to happen. Like, oh, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But it really is just each of them in their own room as their own monster dancing.
And it's all a dream.
And it's all a dream.
Or was it? I did like Brian Luttrell's blood-curdling scream.
He was good.
When he woke up from the nightmare.
Yes, I agreed with that.
That's good acting.
I really liked that, too. I did not love his werewolf makeup. I liked all the others. Oh, I wasn't a big fan of the mummy, either. Which was Nick Carter.
Yeah.
But I will say, as a person, I just don't like Nick Carter anyway.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
We have a similar note in another video that we looked at.
I have more notes on him in the other videos. But it's just like, why are they pushing him so forward? Because to me, I didn't really feel like he was, I don't know. I just thought he was the least...
To end on I agree with you. And to end on a positive.
Fill in the blank, I guess.
No, right. I agree. Because he's very posy. I don't want to get into this because I have it more in the other video.
Okay.
But like, he kind of rubbed me the wrong way throughout this exercise. But I thought this was very well done. I thought it was pretty sexy.
Yeah.
The dancing was really good, and I like that it tried to be a story.
Yeah. It was a little more. Yeah, but it had nothing to do with the words of the song.
No.
None of this had nothing.
No, and also, so they actually really fought for this because even the song itself is Backstreet's Back. This was their first real single in America. So the records studio, the Jive Records, was like, back from where? People aren't going to understand. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And one of the Backstreet Boys, it may have been Brian Latrell, one of them said, well, we're back home in America.
Yes, and I did read that somewhere. But now, do you remember back then feeling like, why are they back? Do you remember having that thought, like, Backstreet's back, did I miss something?
Well, do you remember Blackstreet? Blackstreet was a band around that same time, and that was called Blackstreet, and there was Backstreet Boys, and I actually remember thinking, like, is it Blackstreet's Back? When I would just see the name, like, the name of the song. But, like, no, I didn't, I was like, okay. I really don't have, like, the best memory of when I discovered, personally, the Backstreet Boys.
I had absolutely, it didn't bother me at all, because I wasn't a huge fan. I just assumed there were other, like, there was an album I missed or something.
There was.
And now they're back.
Yeah.
Well, I just didn't know.
Yeah, so again, the first album is Europe.
Yeah.
And then their second one was Europe and America, but their lead single was Backstreet's Back. So most of America is probably like, back from where? Or, and their answer is we're back in America because we were in Europe.
Right.
That's my understanding from what I read.
That makes sense.
Let's take a little break, right?
Yes.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about As Long As You Loved Me. Hey there, it's Brian.
And Christina.
And we have some exciting news. We now have bonus content on Patreon.
If you're a fan of old roommates or simply enjoy revisiting pop culture, we would love for you to check out our page at patreon.com/oldroommates. Patrons of Old Roommates can expect exclusive content such as special episodes, movie recommendations, special videos from us, and bonus content, among other things. Your support will help us to create more content, offset publishing costs, and expand our resources to improve your listening experience.
Whether you become a patron or not, we appreciate your support. Drop us a comment on social media, give us a rating or review on your podcast app of choice, or send us a message at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Thank you for listening, and now, back to the show. Everybody, we're back.
Old Roommates is back. All right.
We're back like we've never left.
Right.
So now we're talking about As Long As You Love Me. The concept here is that the boys are auditioning for something we don't know.
We don't know.
Gay porn.
Maybe a boy band.
Maybe gay porn.
Maybe gay porn. It seems very pornish.
Porn. Yeah, it's probably, I'm going with gay porn.
That sounds good to me, yeah.
So, an audition of sorts. I actually really like the concept because I was like, this is smart for them. Because I not only do I have a hard time naming them, but I don't know, like Nick Carter has a particular rasp to his voice, but the others, I don't know if I could name their voice.
I could never name their voice.
But I think that's what works for them, is that they sound, they're in harmony. They blend. You blend. So, oh my God. I have not finished my coffee. So I thought this concept was interesting, and what I also really like, Christina, just my immediate thoughts was like, I fucking love that they're being objectified by these women. So all the casting directors are women. And they're all like supermodel type women. I loved it.
Well, they did have glasses on, so. That meant that they were serious.
And one of them is the black woman is I know she was on The Apprentice. What is her
really?
name? Oh my god, I have to look it up. But oh damn it, I should have looked it up. But she was the only one that looked familiar to me.
Interesting.
Yeah,
she did not look familiar to me at all.
That was my first take. But what was your immediate?
So my immediate thought was, oh, good, I can just like watch them. Like I can look at them. Because I feel like a lot of the other video was a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. Like it was very like kind of jumpy.
Yes.
And you couldn't really relax and just look at them. And they had the makeup on, of course, too. But I mean, I felt like it was just brighter. It was just a little more relaxed, that sort of thing. And it was nice just watching them and kind of being themselves, allegedly. And I liked just seeing one at a time, and then like Nick Carter's singing, and then Brian comes up and starts singing with him, and it just seemed like a nice kind of relaxing way to watch people. Yes, and so I liked that. I did not have a huge memory of this from before. I probably watched it once. You
didn't remember the chairs.
I didn't remember the chairs.
The chair thing was so funny to me.
I know, it was good though. Honestly, what I really, really loved about this is the transformations. How they're going from one to another to another. Like that whole...
the morphing, yeah.
Morphing, thank you. I really loved that.
So here's the funny thing. Really quick before I forget, I will fucking forget. Claudia Jordan, who, by the way, Providence, Rhode Island.
No way.
Born in Providence, Rhode Island.
No kidding.
Claudia Angela Jordan. That is the black model in this thing. She was Miss Rhode Island, teen Miss Rhode Island, Miss Rhode Island USA 97, Miss USA Top 10 1997.
Oh my gosh.
She was in The Apprentice. She's done a million videos for Coolio, D'Angelo, Genuine, Ludacris, Lattimore. She's been in a million commercials. She was on Deal or No Deal. She's quite famous. And I recognized her right away. I just could not think of her name to save my life, but I thought she was great. So I loved, again, the audition format, so you can get some individuality from them. So it flubbed me up a little bit with the morphing, because it's like I'm trying to get a handle on like their faces and their voices, and they kept morphing, and I was like, I liked it. I thought it was a cool effect.
I liked
black
the
and white,
effect a lot,
Michael Jackson, black and white, like you said. But it's like I don't know if it did much to sort of individualize them.
True. But I felt like I got enough of that at the beginning for some reason. I don't know. I felt like satisfied with that. Maybe it was because it was coming off of everybody. When you couldn't really see what they looked like. I will say I didn't love that they switched roles with the model. Did you say the same thing?
In giant capital letters, I wrote, boo! Why did they flip
I don't know why they had to do that.
It's so unnecessary.
It was very unnecessary, and I wish they had just not done that. I didn't like it as much after they did that. I'm like, well, now it's just like every other video. It's just, I don't know, it was just sort of boring. So that part of it was.
This was released 3 months after Everybody. And it spent 56 weeks in the top 100, and it peaked at number 4. But, throughout the world, it was, it landed in the top of the charts, throughout the world. Although, funny, it was never an official single. Meaning you could not go into a record store and buy a single or buy a single, whatever you would do in 97. But in the UK, you could. And so it sold over 500,000 units of just the single, which is pretty interesting.
It's a pretty song. I really like the song. Again, this video has nothing to do with the lyrics.
Really quick, I want to quickly go back to Everybody.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nope. I'm thinking with the other one. The Patreon one, yeah. So this one, you're right. Yeah, it's. I think to me it was like I'm auditioning, and it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, da da da. Yeah. Because as long as you love me.
It's a stretch, but.
Oh my God! Really? Is it much of a? Is it a stretch?
Because it's a love song. It's a love song.
Okay.
We can agree to disagree if you like.
I think we'll have to.
I guess we will. Maybe we'll ask.
So Donna, the name of one of the characters. This is so weird to me. The models, it says their names on the chalkboard. They all had like fake names. I thought that was strange. If I was a model, I would have been like, I want credit. I want my name on that chalkboard. They had their real names.
That's weird.
Isn't that weird? So Donna, the model, is Leanne Wallace, who would later go on to marry Brian Luttrell.
Oh my God! Yeah. Isn't that sweet?
Isn't that sweet?
Maybe it is, as long as you love me.
Yeah.
There you go. There's the love story right there.
But I think it's bullshit that the models didn't get to put their real names on the chalkboard.
Yeah, they were just trying to, be in control.
Yeah.
I also felt like it was a little creepy after they switched the roles, too. Did you find like it was like creepy when they were like checking them out and staring at
Well, yes,
it was okay when they were being objectified.
Because that was the job of the women.
Right.
And now it's all in this. I fucking hated that swap. I'm getting upset. But I'll say this. But again, Nick Carter bothered me. And this is where I was going to say what you're saying, which is like, he is all posturing and hair. And it's just, and he's making these like sort of sexy pouts that, to your point, don't really match the things that he's saying.
Not at all.
It's like he's like, I want to be the sexy one, and he was doing like weird.
But he's also like a kid brother kind of thing.
I know.
Who's like 6, trying to be like sexy.
It's gross.
It's gross. It
and it's
really
gross
made
now.
me feel. Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I'm like, someone needs to tell him to stop.
Yeah.
Or replace him, because he really stuck out in a negative way for me. I think the other guys were all on the same level, and this guy is just like constantly like, wait, what about me?
Yeah.
Like shoving his face in the camera.
So just for the audience, I am nodding and nodding and nodding. I'm completely agreeing with Christina.
So super obnoxious.
If you rewatch these videos, and including our Patreon pick, I would add, as long God, what the hell is the name of the other one? I Want It That Way.
Yeah.
He does. He sticks out a bit, and it's not in a good way.
It's not
because the other guys have a vibe. Like, you feel like they're part of a band.
Yes. They're like smooth jazz.
Smooth. They're
right?
smooth.
Like smooth jazz.
And he's like this,
and
like,
then you
rascally...
have him bouncing around. He's literally like bouncing around off the ceilings, shaking his head like, oh my God.
He's like a rascally... You're exactly, Christina, you're exactly right. He's like a rascally kid brother.
Yeah, like
get out of here. Go home.
Mom! Can you get him out of here? Nick's trying to join the band again.
It's bothering us.
Yeah, totally. Oh my
God.
So true.
It is like that. It's like, what are you doing?
It's like, nobody wants you here. You're only here because we have to have you.
Oh my God. So, believe it or not, that's all my notes.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot more on him either. But we need to figure out who's going to keep what vault.
Should we say it at the same time? I have mine. Do you know yours?
Yeah. I was thinking about it for a second, but I think I'm good.
You're going to write it down? Or no?
I'll write it down. I have a blank piece of paper here. I have a new notebook, by the way.
Me too!
Hardcover.
Well, so I cleared out a lot of stuff from my office. Not giving anything away there, but
nice.
I found a bunch of empty like notebooks and stuff, and swag stuff, and freebies, and this is one of them that I'm using.
Lovely.
All right, Christina, which one? Now, this vault has some really amazing stuff in it.
We have a lot of stuff in that vault. Can we make like a playlist?
I know you've said that before. I have to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to join Love is a Battlefield, Express Yourself.
Girls Just Want to
Have Fun. Some really major stuff.
Like a lot of stuff. Yeah, Weird Al. What is it?
Weird Al.
Eat It.
Oh,
Eat It.
Yeah. Alanis Morissette. Oh my God.
Hand in Pocket? Wait.
No. We did Ironic and we did...
You Ought to Know.
You Ought to Know. I think You Ought to Know was the one.
Yeah.
So here we go.
This is
joining our illustrious collection that will soon be a Spotify playlist.
If this is a match.
Oh, really quick about Spotify. Spotify's doing this new thing now where you can rate a podcast. So please rate our podcast.
Yeah, please.
Please, we need it because it'll just help us be found more easily in search. So if you're on Spotify, even if you're just listening to music on Spotify, go to our podcast on Spotify and just give us a rating. 5 stars, please. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, please. Yeah, 5 stars. Don't just rate us.
All right, here we go. The one making the vault is... Everybody. Yeah. Rock your body.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for Nick Carter, I might have chosen the other one. But
interesting.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
No, I liked Everybody because it was just a variety of things. It's a great song, and is this it? Yeah, there you go. And it has those dance moves and stuff. I mean, it was just, I think it was more of the feel of the Backstreet Boys.
And I like the attempt at a story. So.
There was a small attempt. There was a little bit of an attempt, yeah.
So thank you, Backstreet Boys.
Thank you, Backstreet Boys. And make sure you go to Patreon.
Yes.
Patreon.com/oldroommates, where you will hear all about...
I Want It That Way.
I Want It That Way. Every time I sing Backstreet Boys, I have to have like that nasally, right?
Is that what's the first song you think of when you hear Backstreet Boys?
Probably Everybody.
Me too. Isn't that funny? That's not even their biggest hit.
No, it's not, but it's like... I think it's the catchiest.
It's so catchy.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, there's 5 lyrics in the whole song. That's the other thing. Like, we know all the words. Anyway, okay. So that's that.
Go to Patreon.
And that's it for us in this episode of Old Roommates. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And please give us a rating or review while you're there.
And if you're interested in more Old Roommates, including special episodes, bonus content, movie recommendations, and more, visit our Patreon page at patreon.com. That's patreon.com/oldroommates. Comments and ideas can be emailed to us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Old Roommates.
Thanks again for listening. This is Christina.
And this is Brian. Until next time.